Well, guys, I told you I would be fixing the Iroc, and as usual, the car has fought me every step of the way on the process of trying to fix the headers. So I had them milled down. They got them pretty smooth. It looked promising, and I thought, well, let me try. I don't want to do the rim flex gaskets anymore. This is the second or third time that I've had that problem. I realized that that is because it wasn't as perfectly flat as it could have been, but it's a major pain in the AS something or another to redo these headers, or really anything on a third gen is a pain. But Gen 1 headers in particular are not fun, especially with 1 3/4 inch tubes. Now, if I went back in time, I would tell myself there's no need to go with 1 3/4. 1 1/2 would have been perfect. You'd have so much more room for the bolts. But I digress. I have decided on going with copper, rubber coated copper gaskets. So that's what I ordered. Spent a pretty penny on them too. Well, they arrive. I'll tell you, this setup it's just my own choices of where I kind of really screwed myself. Because I went with fast burn heads instead of AFR. Why? I wanted D-port because I built the freaking headers for D-ports for the original L98 heads. And I've had those things on and off, a number of times when doing different things to the car. Never had a problem. And then on the fast burn heads, I installed them. Then I blew out the rim flex. Then I put on the new rim flex, the ones that are down here. No problem, went back together. Well, I don't know how milling the flanges or whatever could have changed anything. I'm sure it did not. But back to the copper gasket story first. First big issue was these holes weren't drilled. Second issue was when I went to punch a place in there to keep the drill bit centered, it bent because it's soft copper. It bent the bent it up quite a bit, and I thought, well, there goes the flatness. And you can see them now; they're all screwed up. But I drilled the holes. They're oversized. It probably wouldn't have been an issue anyway. And in fact, the holes ended up being a little bit low, which would help hold the gasket up where I wanted it to be aligned at the top. So I dropped them in there, put a couple of bolts in, went home, did some research on rubber coated copper and turbos and copper in general, and the consensus was that nobody's ever had any luck with copper gaskets. So I thought, there is one other option, and that is ultra copper RTV. So I did some research, read a bunch of forums. So as far as MLS is concerned, I was looking at another brand of MLS, and a lot of people with turbos were blowing them out. They were pushing out between the layers or something, and then they would just melt and push it out. So, but that's besides the point. That's not the issue. The issue is this stuff right now is my issue. I put the copper on there. You have a pretty short working time. No big deal. This is no big deal. It's a few bolts that I've put in many times, no problem. Wrong. Will not go. Will not go. I cannot get number 7 bolts to go in. Either of them. And in the time that I was working, the good old RTV started tacking up. I've got fiberglass arms from all this stupid fiberglass wrap. And I basically decided the issue was that the other problem is that this stuff tacks up pretty quick. So if it's not perfectly aligned, by the time you get to about the 4th bolt, it's too bad. And so you don't really get, you can't wiggle it around very good. Maybe a place where you can say, all right, the MLS gaskets would work good because you don't have to worry about doing it quickly. But bottom line is, I tried this. I even took it completely off, scraped all the RTV back off, redid the whole thing, tapped out the hole over to make sure that it and the bolt was perfect, as far as it not having any boogers in or whatever. Put the bolt in, took the bolt out, no problem. It's not the thread, it's the alignment. It's almost like somehow when we flattened the flange, it induced a different warping. I don't know. I don't know. But look, guys, I'm done with this. I'm done with this setup. This setup will never run again on this car. But that doesn't mean that I'm done. I'm not done with it. I'm just done with this setup. So what I've got are two options right now. I've got a 4.8 outside in an S10 that is mine for the taking if I want to deal with, it's already going to have probably the correct conversion mounts, and I don't know what oil pan it has on it. Most likely it'll have the right oil pan already. So there is an LS option, but I'm just not a big, I'm not a big fan right now of switching this car to LS. So I do have one other option, but it's very important to me that I retain air conditioning on this car. I'm down here in Florida, and I don't believe in cars that don't have air conditioning. If they're called a street car, they should be a street car. So I have an STR set up with twin 57s, and it's been begging to go onto a car for a while. But the problem is it comes right through where this compressor is. So the solution is to go with a different style compressor and get it down there where the, shoot, get this light right. Get it down there where the air pump used to be. Right now there's some brackets and stuff down there to hold this turbo, but that won't be needed anymore. I've got a Sanderson compressor, brand new, Sandon compressor, brand new, that came with the kit for the 49. I've got all the hydraulic tools now to make my own lines. So it might be very feasible to just convert over to that. And I'll have to look and see what fits. But I'm aggravated with this setup. I'm aggravated with fiberglass arms. And I'm just, I have fought this setup from day one. I probably ought to just go with the 4.8 is what I should do. If I was smart, I would not waste another second on Gen 1 in this car, because I've just had so much bad luck. This thing, yes, it put down some good power, but it has just fought me the whole way with one issue after another. And no matter what I throw at it, no matter how much money, time, energy, motivation, whatever, it's taken it all from me, and it has not delivered anything but pain. And I'm over it. I'm not taking that header off and scraping it again and trying to figure out what the hell is going on with the bolts. So I've got twin 57s, so I can do that with the STR setup, or I could use those, or the 76 ball bearing on the LS if I went that route. So I've got to go home and do some thinking on where I want to go from here. The good news is I can part this thing out for at least a couple $100, which will probably pay for any conversion parts I need. And so that's where I'm at. I actually did try. In fact, I've spent the afternoon up here that I've been up here. Let's see, yep, LS and Holly accessories, that could work. I do like the idea of twins. I don't know. I've had so many questions about, well, what about the other side of the engine? Isn't it imbalanced? No, it's got a crossover, but you can't see it. So, in that way, twins will be really fun. And there's something about twin turbo Iroc that just sounds cool. So maybe it's time I just go the way of twins, maybe it'll just be a different deal. But I'm not going to waste a lot of time, though. I'm going to move fairly quick on getting this off and taking the AC compressor off. At least I don't have serpentine, so that gives me some options. But yeah, I'll have it mocked up on here pretty quickly. Now, there is a problem, and that is that the STR manifolds are cast for standard ports. There's very likely going to be a overhang at the top of the D port that's going to hurt efficiency quite a bit. There are 100 arguments on how much it matters with a turbo setup, but every little bit counts to me. I think it would still make plenty of power, but it kind of sucks that I've got all these raised D ports that have all this velocity, and they're going to come out and hit probably a 1/4-inch wall. So, there's that. There are the bolts, the header bolts on the small block versus the LS. Just so many things about the LS that it's so much nicer, and it's really tempting me. In fact, I've already got a nice LS throttle body and a map sensor. So I'm kind of set up, really, I'm already kind of LS. So I really think that's what's going to end up in here. Now, this thing has really just got me snake bitten about Gen 1. Um, you know what? You guys are watching my video. Leave a comment. I'm not going to promise you I'm going to listen. But the question is, keep fighting the Gen 1 for the cool factor of not having an LS, or just throw the damn LS in the car and hopefully, possibly, probably, finally really get to enjoy it and maybe let it re-earn its place in my garage and not be under the threat of leaving. I'm just curious what you guys that watch my video think. But this has been my live update. I hate that it's not better news. I was really looking forward to hearing this thing start up tomorrow and, just see what happens. Yeah, Dave, I've I've made my point. Unfortunately, I don't think my point was heard. I don't think Google. Last I looked at the stock market, they were hurting a little bit, but I don't think that I've done any impactful changes to them. But I'm going to be back, not as much. Let me sit down here for a minute. I won't be back as much, but I am going to upload content for a while as I can. So that's why I've been uploading 49 videos. And we should take the TA for a ride. What do you guys think? I think we should take the TA for a ride. We could take the TA for a ride. Maybe that would be a good idea. That might blow off some steam. Let's see if the TA will start up. I'm going to take it off the battery maintainer here. I think we need to take a quick little ride. I don't think Melissa will mind one bit. Cars need to be driven, right? So the 49 is currently running. I was up here pretty late last night. Tightened up some things, put Teflon on some fittings again, the transmission cooler. Tightened up some bolts, installed some more body bolts. And I was going to do some work on it today. But I got so excited about hearing this thing run that that's all I've worked on. So let's see what happens. Make sure I got the gate opener. You know, I have not one time really put the gas down on this car to see what it will do. I have no idea how this car runs. It's been sitting for many years. Yeah, man, LS is, I don't know. I think LS is definitely I've been needing to do it for a while. Uh-oh, she's gonna start. There she goes. This car needs to be tuned. It's got some messed up things about the tune I don't understand. So we're gonna get on that pretty soon. It likes to hold the idle up. But the IAC needs to be adjusted. It'll come down, but it doesn't know where it wants to be at. All right, let me back out of my shop real quick, guys, and I'll... Oh yeah, the gate is open. Yeah, we're ready to hit the road. She needs a bath already. Yeah, you know, the thing about the LS is that you can use the dang stock exhaust manifolds, and there just are a lot of good things. I like the fact that it's sequential, but you don't have to worry about trigger wheels outside the engine to catch on something. You don't have to worry about, you know, adjustments to a distributor puck. So, you know, I'll do this 4.8 just because I got it, and I can always switch over to a 6.0 or a built bottom end, or Maybe I'll just stick with the 4.8, who knows. Well, we'll know in a minute if Melissa is subscribed to my channel, since this is her car. I'm sure she's got a notification telling her that something's going on. Got a pretty good sized stall in it. I don't know, 3,000 or more. But this car has been sitting for a good while, and I don't think it's a good idea to just take it out and really rip on it. So just every time I've driven it, I've pushed it a little bit more, and so far it's been behaving really well. Sorry I won't be able to read you guys' comments while I'm driving very much, so, but I'll be done. We're not going very far. Don't worry. We'll step on it here in a minute. This car is lowered, I don't know how much, at least a couple inches. So another thing we have to be careful with is our roads around here, since the hurricane, were damaged by the weight of the debris. And there are a lot of dips and things that get you. Not going to go too fast on this road. Find a turnaround spot. We're going to turn it up a little bit in the low gear and see what it does. Really disappointed in the old Iroc. I just put a lot of money into that, you know, putting those fast burn heads. Those were a couple $1,000s alone. I've just done so many things on that car that I didn't need to do if I went LS, and I really did try. I really tried to save the Gen 1 many times over. Been very, very frustrated with that car many times, enough to let it sit for 3 years. And so I've learned, you know, when it's not going right, just put it down. And it's just that I have to put it down forever. As far as the existing setup, hopefully don't make anybody too mad. I'm going to try to go where there's no houses, not as many houses right on the road. Yeah, that's not going to work. See, you get old, you get more conservative. So much traffic too, man. Since the hurricane, there have been so many people have moved up here. All right, we're not going to be able to do a stop, so we're just going to take off. Man, this thing needs a gear, doesn't it? I guess that was probably second, but it just felt like it was very long. Man, it pulled decent, but this car was a WS6, so it's actually a version to an automatic. And I'm sure that the gears, whatever the gear was, really like to try first gear out, but my neighbors down here, they are experiencing a lot of misbehavior of people, four-wheelers and untagged vehicles, so it's not a real good place to do anything crazy right now. They'll have the law out here in 2 seconds if you cut up too much. try something real quick. Love that $4 gas. Wonder who did that. See, it's pushing right now. It's wanting to. The RPM just keeps coming up. It cruises about 1900 RPM. It's about 40 miles an hour. Yeah, it's already in the second gear. All right, well, I can't do this one-handed and get it down to manual 1, so that's that's the best we can do on the takeoff. I'm gonna try one more, just a slow roll. I'm gonna stab it, see if we can get first out of it. There we go. That's more like it. Now I got a little bit of motivation. Yeah, I like posting videos, but you know, these days you gotta be careful. So many different ways that you can get on a shit list, on a banned list, on a watch list. Police are watching, so you know, you might go over the speed and get a ticket. I don't know. It's just a lot of different factors, and I really, you know, I mean, you see the way this video started out. I was at a very pissed off point when I opened the video screen up, and I don't hide that like a lot of these people, man. A lot of these people, everything just looks great all the time. Everything always works perfect. They don't show the bad side. Things go wrong. Yeah, Bayou George, that's me. Anyway, I show the fails, probably more than the wins, because there's so many fails. And that's just how it is, you know. But the problem is, when you say things like they are, but you're not allowed to say certain things, that's a bad combination. That's why I love the platform concept of YouTube. But this crap about where you can't say things, you know, these no-speak words or whatever you want to call them. I don't know why this thing zooms so dang close. Let's see what this chat says. Yeah, Dave the Fixer. Are you, Dave? Come on over. Feel your pain. All right. LS. Yeah, the old wasps are probably already building under the hood of that damn thing. I'm actually not. No, I'm not at the old house. I'm at the old house, but I'm not at the old house. That's another story altogether. All right, let's make sure I don't miss any comments there. But I am, this is my home away from home, my shop, and maybe rental I don't know. Maybe I'll move back here, who knows? Depends on what happens, you know. If groceries and gas keep going up, it might be a little bit smarter place to be. But that was a good little ride. Hey, we made it back to the shop. That's pretty awesome too. Yeah, this car is pretty fun. Oh, let me get off the screen. There's somebody coming over. Somebody in a vet. Hang on, guys. Let's see who is this. Dave. Oh man, the one and the only Ron. Holy crap! This guy is on my intro to my videos that have the intro. He is there when we're pulling the engine out of the 4th gen. I've been thinking about you, man. You're live on YouTube, so just be careful what you tell me. It's going to be shutting down soon, so we can chat about car BS.
I just passed this beautiful Trans Am. It so reminded me of my beautiful Trans Am that I had to turn around and chase it down.
Well, I bet you
saw
do.
Your ass behind the wheel, or your face behind the wheel.
Yeah, man. It's I had to take a little blast. All right, well, shoot. Let's see. Hang on a sec. I'm actually doing a very rare YouTube video, which I don't do many of. Well, it's because she doesn't want to drive a standard, and so she wanted a Trans Am. They found this one, and they swapped to an automatic. Go figure. All right, guys, I'm gonna cut this short. I haven't seen Ron over here in the better part of a year plus, and I got to catch up with him. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But you guys see what happens. So we'll see what shows up next. Thanks for stopping by.